Damn, been a while since I've done one of these. Before we get into the video real quick, I want to give a quick shout out to my newest patrons, Randall, Howell, Sean, and Zooksman. Thank you guys so much for the support to keep the channel going. I wish I could express it in a better way, but any support to keep the channel going just means so much to me. Can't say that enough. Alrighty, so what champion should I play? I get this question way too much, and I gotta tell you, I hate answering it. I'm not even that big of a content creator, and I get this question a fuck ton. So I cannot imagine how bigger like educational content creators like me stand this question. If you catch me in a good mood, I'll give you an actual answer, and if you catch me in a bad mood, I'll probably say some cryptic shit that'll piss you off, and the next time you ever hear someone mention my name, you'll say, oh, don't watch that guy's stuff, or don't listen to that guy, he's a dick. And you're probably wondering, if I already know this, why don't I just always give a straight answer? Well, the thing is, when I answer this question in a straight way, one of four things tends to happen. One, they just ignore me and they don't care at all. They're just asking that question to ask the question. They just want to see the response. Two, they'll probably play it for like 5 or so games. They'll go like 1-4 and they'll say, hey man, I don't think this champ is the right fit for me. Could you give me another recommendation? Three, they'll play it for like a while, but they won't have like a good win rate and they'll just switch off eventually. And number 4, they get this beast-ass win rate, they become a pro player, and then they come back to me one day telling me how me telling them to play Warwick changed their life, and just everything went up from there. Yeah, that 4th one's never happened. See, the problem with this is that none of them really get the point. People have this weird sense of things where they like hang on to everything I say and what like other coaches and like educational content creators say, or even just like some streamers. They'll hold on to it if it's said in any non-sarcastic way, like gospel. And they don't understand the bigger picture or why I tell people to play stuff like Warwick or like Malphite or like Annie. They'll go play a Warwick and they think like just this miracle happens, their brain just expands and suddenly they understand everything there is to understand about League of Legends. Yeah, it's not that simple. If it was that simple, everyone would be good at this game, but it's definitely not the case. I don't tell people to play Warwick because he's broken, even though he kind of is right now. I hate that champ. I hate playing against that champ. But I tell people to play Warwick because he's really fucking easy. And people are really, really bad at League of Legends. There are people in my elo who are really, really bad at League of Legends. Because being good at League of Legends is very, very different than being good at a champion. That's why I hate one-tricks so much. Or most one-tricks. The ones who only know how to play their champion and like not League of Legends. I can't hit a Lee Sin Q. If you've ever watched me play, you'll understand that I can't hit a Lee Sin Q. I can't hit an Olaf Axe. I can't hit shit. Yet, I held a 58% win rate in Diamond 1 to Challenger MMR on Lee Sin for 4 fucking years. I don't smartcast W and R. I can barely insect, and I don't land Qs. I have a 58% win rate over 4 fucking years on a large sample size, over 1,000 games. How do I do it? Well, it's because I might not really know how to play Lee Sin, but I know how to play League of Legends. And almost everyone who plays League of Legends don't really understand how to. Warwick is a good champion to play because instead of having to focus on playing your champion, he lets you focus on the minute champion mechanic. Like, instead of having to focus on the minute champion mechanics, he lets you focus on what's actually like important, which is playing the game properly. When you play Azir or you play all these weird, not weird, but these like mechanically demanding champions, all of your brain power is going into just actually like how you play the champion instead of what it should be, which is playing League of Legends properly. Now that might sound crazy because you're like, well, I got all these kills and shit. Like I'm playing League of Legends properly, right? Well, like no, because like I've stressed in my other videos about like climbing and improving. If you haven't watched those already, go watch them. Um, there's so much more to League of Legends than what meets the eye. Just because you do well in a game doesn't mean your like your score isn't necessarily an indicator of you playing well. You know, KDA is a tool. It's a tool to kind of like it's a tool that you use to judge how you did in a game, but it's not the end all be all. It's not always the most accurate. It's just a tool that comprises like parts of like what you need to paint a picture of how a game went. You know, your CS per minute. That's part of the picture. You know, your KDA, it's part of the picture. Your gold per minute, part of the picture. You know, all of these are just parts. They don't really mean anything on their own though. And because KDA is so out there, it's so easily like noticeable, like you can just read it and you understand like the score and whatever. It's very easy to equate KDA to game performance, and that's not really the case. And that's the pitfall that many people fall into because that's really not true, you know. While at the outer extents or like the outliers of KDA, you know, like you go 0-28, 0, then obviously, you know, you didn't play very well. In fact, you were probably just hard inting, like intentionally inting. Like, yes, then there you can use KDA as an indicator, but a lot of the time, you'll see it all the time if you watch my coaching videos and whatnot. A lot of people, they'll get a lot of kills and they'll play fucking awfully. They might even win the game. They might go 20-0 and win the game, and they played awfully because they did a bunch of things that against better players doesn't work, and that's why they end up hard stuck in their elo because they do a bunch of things that just aren't consistent. So they're not getting better at League of Legends. They're getting better mechanically at their champion, so that'll end up winning them more games, and it might end up winning them enough games for them to climb a division or two, and they end up feeling a lot better about themselves until they inevitably get hard stuck in the next division, but they're not really getting better at League of Legends because they're focused on playing their champion, and they're not really focused on actually getting better at League of Legends. The reason I recommend champions that are easy, and also the same reason I don't care about non-meta and meta, and the same reason I'll tell some people that have already clearly played the fuck out of a champion that is not a champion I'd recommend, but they're clearly already comfortable on them mechanically, to just stay on it, because what's important is in League, when you want to improve, you want to get better, is that you find a champion that you can play kind of subconsciously on the mechanical side. You just want to play something that you don't really have to focus on mechanically, so you can focus on, you know, like your CSing, your wave control, you know, your roams, basically the things that are always going to be consistent no matter what champion you're playing. For jungle, it's pathing. So if you're someone who only really watches my jungle videos, that's basically your explanation for why I always stress pathing so much, why I spend 40 minutes on the first 10 minutes of the game when I'm watching, which I'm going over a replay, and why I spend maybe like 10-20 minutes on the other 30 to 40 minutes of the game, because that shit is different every game. It's not consistent. It's team fights. It's stuff that shouldn't matter. It's not that it doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter as much because you're not going to get in those situations every game, so you shouldn't worry about them as much. You want to worry about what happens every game, and what's relevant every game and what matters every game is your pathing and what you do in game states that are pretty much going to be happening like every game, at least like the first 10 minutes or so. The same reason I recommend Warwick and like Malphite and Annie is the same reason like LS recommends like Annie and like Malphite and stuff. It's because they're brain dead and it lets you focus on what really matters. And that's like why I hate answering the champion question so much. People come to me with their OPGG, they come to me with all this stuff. They'd say, like, I like playing this playstyle, I like playing this playstyle. These are the champions I like, these are the champions I've tried, these are the champions I don't like. And they get really upset sometimes when I just say, yeah, just play Warwick, just play Annie, just play Malphite. Because like I don't like those champions. It's like, well, I don't care. What are you after? Are you trying to get better? Are you trying to have fun? You know, sometimes you can do both at the same time, but usually you're going to have to sacrifice one or the other. If you want to get better at League of Legends, you know, sometimes it's not always fun. And if that's not okay with you, then cool. You know, not everyone has to get better at League of Legends. But if you really want to get better at League of Legends, sometimes you got to do stuff that you don't want to do. And sometimes that means playing Warwick and getting comfortable enough on Warwick's mechanics, which really shouldn't take long because he's easy, and that's why I recommend him. And then once you have that down, you can focus on actually becoming a better League of Legends player than becoming the best ribbon in it. Thanks for watching, guys. That's all I really have to say today. Peace out.